Now Aram is all ready for riding along with his cousin Murad, correct? So it wouldn't become stealing until we offer to sell the horse, which of course I knew we would never do. So he says that we would never dream of losing, or we would never dream of selling the horse for money. So this is never called as stealing. That's what he is saying to himself, and he's consoling himself. As I said before, he's consoling his voice of conscience, and he's just getting ready to go along with his cousin. Okay, let's see what's going to happen next. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry. I leaped into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. So he's just jumping out of the window with his clothes on, and he's just on for a ride. Okay, I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. That year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. In less than 3 minutes we were on Olive Avenue, and then the horse began to trot. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest members of our family, began to sing. I mean, he began to roar. Obviously, the guys are in a very playful mood. They are in a very joyous mood as well, because it is one of their lifelong dreams to ride a horse, and that's what they are doing here exactly. And he could hear his cousin, who's riding along with him, sing the song. And he's just saying that he's not singing the song, he's actually roaring. Okay, the air is new, it smells lovely to both of them. Okay, that's what he's saying. And he's saying like, and during that year, they are just living in a street called Walnut Avenue. And behind their living area, they have vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. Okay, this is the setup in which they are living. Okay, so he's saying, he's also disclosing a fact here that Murad is considered to be the craziest member of his family. Okay, keep the lines provided by Aram regarding Murad in your mind every now and then. Okay, yes, every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our uncle Khosrow, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest moustache in the San Juan Valley. A man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. So he is now disclosing certain facts about his family to us. That is the Garaglanian family. That is his cousin Murad, is considered to be the craziest member of his family. And before Murad, it was their uncle Khosrow. So the uncle Khosrow's natural descendant, that is the natural heir of the crazy streak, would be his cousin Murad. Okay, I hope you're following the story. So whatever happens, his uncle Khosrow always says, pay no attention to it, it is no harm. Or in other words, he says, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. Okay, that was all. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his own son Eric running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. The barber said, but the boys says your house is on fire. So Khosrow roared, enough, it is no harm, I say. So once Uncle Khosrow was in the barber shop getting his mustache trimmed. Okay, so he says his sons, one of his sons, Eric, is coming running to him to the shop, saying that his house is on fire. Even for that, even for a very disastrous thing as that, even for that, he replies, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. Okay, that's why Uncle Khosrow is considered to be crazy in the family, and the natural descendant of this crazy streak is our own boy Murad. Okay, that's what Aram is saying to us. Okay, my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Zorab, who was practical and nothing else. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was the father of his spirit. The distribution of the various kinds of spirits of a tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. So he says, cousin Murad's father, Zorab, he is the father of this boy, but he was a practical man. Okay, but Murad is not like that. He is the natural descendant of Uncle Khosrow. Even though Zorab was father in flesh and blood to Murad, the father of his spirit, okay, is Uncle Khosrow. That was Aram says about Murad. Okay, so he says in our tribe, even though a man fathers a child, the child would have the spirit of somebody else. That's what he's saying. That is the meaning of the last few lines of the paragraph that I just read. Okay, so he says that the distribution of spirit in our tribe is capricious and vagrant, meaning it is just very unpredictable. It just comes to anyone in the family. For example, Murad has gotten the spirit of his uncle and not his father. His father is a practical man, whereas Uncle Khosrow is considered to be the craziest member of the family. Following him, it is Murad. Okay. We rode and my cousin Murad sang. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. So these two boys are not hell-bent on rushing the time on the horse or ending the riding time with the horse. They are just enjoying the time, and Murad and Aram, they are just singing. Murad is just singing and Aram is sitting behind Murad and enjoying the time. Okay, and they are just letting the horse to just go by, to trot by as the horse wishes. Okay, let's continue. Okay, at last my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." So after some time, again Murad is commanding to his cousin Aram, saying that, "Get down from the horse, I just want to ride alone." Okay, "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." So he says, "Can I ride alone also?" That's the question asked by Aram to Murad, and for that Murad says, "That entirely depends on the horse." Okay, and he again commands to Aram, saying that, "Get down." Okay, "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with the horse." So he says, Aram says, okay, he's just a 9-year-old boy, we should never forget that fact, and he says the horse will definitely will let me try to ride. That's what he says, "Will let me ride, the horse will let me ride." That's what Aram is saying to Murad, and Murad is saying, let us see, now get down. Don't forget the fact that I have a way with the horse. Murad is saying to Aram, I have a way with the horse. Let's see whether the horse is letting you to ride or not. Okay. I got down and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir," meaning run. The horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. There is a picture of it, Murad riding on the horse, and he is again giving another command to the horse. The horse is also obeying to his command, and with one full push, the horse is starting to go at full speed. Okay, and then Aram is saying that is the most beautiful sight he has ever seen. Okay, my cousin Murad raced the horse across the field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. The sun was coming up. "Now it's my turn to ride," I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. "Ride," he said. So while coming back with the horse, he was dripping wet. The sun was up clearly. Okay, and then Aram, being a small boy, he says to Murad, "Now it's my time to ride," and he just gets down. Murad just gets down, and he is getting ready to ride. Who? Aram. Okay. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. The horse is clearly not listening to Aram. It is not even sensing Aram. I told you earlier, the bond that you share with the horse is very much necessary to have a harmonious relationship with the animal. And with one command, the animal would start riding. That's how it is. That's the relationship that always exists between the rider and the horse. Okay, Aram, being a new person to the horse, he is not able to understand the horse. The horse is also not listening to his command, and it's not moving. Okay, kick into his muscles, my cousin Murad said. What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. So Murad is getting restless here, and he's saying kick into his muscles so that he would start moving. And what are you doing? We have to take him back before everyone starts moving about. That's what Murad is saying to Aram. I kicked into the muscles of the horse. Once again it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Halabian, where it began to leap over vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before I fell. Then it continued running. So some kind of accident is happening here. Okay, after listening to Murad's instruction, he's just kicking into the muscles of the horse, and the horse is just starting to run. Okay, so the horse is just leaping and it's just starting to run, and after some time what happens is he's falling down from the horse, who Aram, and even after shaking him off from its back, the horse is just continuing to run. Okay, so clearly the Aram does not have way with the horse, just like Murad. Okay, my cousin Murad came running down the road. I'm not worried about you, he shouted. We have got to get that horse. You go this way and I'll go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I'll be near. So again, Murad being Murad, he is giving instructions, clear instructions and orders to Aram. He says, I'm not worried about you, even though he has fallen down. Okay, he just says, looking at his cousin Aram, I'm not worried about you. You go this side and I'll go the opposite side. If you come across the horse, you just be kind to him, and just I'll be round the corner. That's what Murad is saying to Aram. Okay, yes. I continued down the road, and my cousin Murad went across the field through the irrigation ditch. It took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. All right, he said, jump on. The whole world is awake now. What will we do? I said. So somehow they're bringing back the horse, and Murad is bringing back the horse, and Aram is asking, what shall we do? Now the world is up and about. Well, he said, we will either take him back or hide him until tomorrow morning. So that's the idea given by Murad to Aram. We will hide him or we will just take him. He didn't sound worried, and I knew he had hid him and not take, he will hide him. He would hide him and not take him back, not for a while at any rate. So he says that he would hide him and not take him back, because that he sounded very not worried. He's not all worried about the horse, or he didn't sound any worried. So he decided for himself, Aram decided for himself that his cousin Murad is going to hide the horse and is not all worried about hiding the horse. Okay. Where will we hide him? I said. I know a place, he said. How long ago did you steal this horse? I said. It suddenly dawned on me that he had been taking these early morning rides for some time and had come for me this morning only because he knew how much I longed to ride. So, without even having much of a conversation with Murad, Aram is able to understand his mind. Okay, every now and then he's asking one question, but he's able to understand the entire course of action done by Murad. Okay, he says, now, I guess this boy, Murad, my cousin, he has been taking his early morning rides for quite some time now. And at last he has brought the horse to me this morning only because he knew how much I love riding. That's what he's saying. He knows how much I love riding. So only this morning he has brought the horse to me. But I'm very much clear, I'm very much confident as well that this boy has been riding this horse for quite some time now. Okay. Who said anything about stealing a horse? He said. Anyhow, I said, how long ago did you begin riding every morning? So now Aram, being a surprised party here, he just asks about the stealing of the horse, how long it has been hidden somewhere, and all kind of questions he's asking to his cousin Murad. And his cousin Murad is asking back to Aram, who is talking anything about stealing? That's the question posed by Murad to Aram. Not until this morning, he said. Are you telling me the truth? I said. Of course not, he said. But if we are found out, that's what you are to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. All you know is that we started riding this morning. So Murad is being very clever here. He's just saying, I don't know. Of course, I did not steal the horse this morning only. So if somebody asks you, you're supposed to say that you have seen the horse only this morning. If somebody asks both of us, I don't want both of us to be liars. So that's what I want you to say. That's what Murad says to Aram, and Murad is being very clever here. You should notice that point as well. You can use all these points when you're writing the character sketch of Murad if it is being asked. Okay? All right, I said. He walked the horse quietly to the barn of a deserted vineyard, which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fetwajan something. That's an Armenian name. Okay? There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. Okay, so he said they are taking the horse to a barn, a deserted barn at that, and he says it belongs to one of the farmers, and it has some oats and dry alfalfa. Okay, we began walking home. So they're leaving the horse in this deserted barn, and they are returning home. Who? Aram and Murad. Okay. It wasn't easy, he said, to get the horse to behave so nicely. At first it wanted to run wild, but as I've told you, I have a way with the horse. I can get it to want to do anything I want it to do. Horses understand me. Now we get an insight into the character of Murad, or into the thinking pattern of this character called Murad, okay, the cousin of Aram. Okay, he says it was not easy at all to break the horse in first place, because it always wanted to run wild, and it took me some time to train the horse to make it behave nicely as it is behaving now. Okay, but then also he accepts to the fact that he has way with the horses, and he also says finally, horses understand me. Okay, so he has this conversation with his cousin Aram. How do you do it? I said. I have an understanding with the horse, he said. Yes, but what sort of an understanding? I said. A simple and honest one, he said. So this boy, being 9 years old, Aram, is clearly intrigued with the kind of understanding that this person Murad has with the horse. Okay, so he's asking, what kind of understanding you have with the horse? He says, a simple and an honest one. Okay, well, I said, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding like that with the horse. You're still a small boy, he said. When you get to be 13, you will know how to do it. Now we understand two things: how simple and straightforward Murad is, and also about his age. He says, Aram says, I wish I knew the secret behind this, behind knowing the horses. And for that, Murad says, it is a very honest and straightforward understanding that I have with the horse, and you're still a small boy. You should reach the age of 13. Now we understand the age of Murad is 13. Okay, so that's what he says. That's the kind of advice Murad gives to Aram. Okay. I went home and ate a hearty breakfast. That afternoon, my uncle Khosrow came to our house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor, sipping and smoking and remembering the old country. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Biro. Okay, so after having this early morning ride, okay, he is leaving to his house, who? Aram, to have a hearty breakfast. And during the day, he is having his uncle Khosrow at his house, sipping coffee and smoking cigarettes. And Uncle Khosrow is having a visitor on that particular day, a farmer named John Biro. With that, I would like to end today's session. I'll be giving homework based on today's session, children. So kindly pay attention to the homework that I'm going to give. Okay, I would like to I would like you to write 2 questions. Okay, the character sketch of Murad, okay, based on your understanding of the text. That is the first question. Second question, do you consider the act of Murad as stealing, or simply the attitude that is that has arisen in the boy due to mere interest, okay, on horses. I'll type the questions and I will send to you. Kindly pay attention and write these 2 questions, and I want you to write 2 paragraphs for each question that I'm going to ask you, okay. The first is the character sketch of Murad. The second one is, do you consider the conduct or the attitude exhibited by Murad as the act of stealing? Why or why not? If you say why, you should give the explanation. If you say why not, for that also you should give explanation. These are the questions I want you to attempt today, okay. I hope you're safe. I hope you're staying at home. Continue to do so. Hope to see all of you in a classroom setup as early as possible. Have a good day. Thank you.